This is an ODST, and in today's video, I'm gonna tell you how I made this helmet right here. I can't do this is too cringe. Alright gamers, in today's video, we're making an ODST helmet, and I have zero experience, limited brain cells, and a broken tibia. And you might be asking, why am I doing this? I don't know, man. I can't tell you. I can tell you. First, I had to find a 3D model, and this took me way too long because there's so models out there. Different versions, different styles, different formats. I spent way too long. I found a model. This one made by Jeffrey. So let's go over here and... Thank you, Jeffrey. Now, we got the file here, or is it just me? Or is this file looking kinda fake? Anyway, well, we need the helmet to fit onto our head. Because that's how helmets work. I don't know. And to do that, we need to scale the helmet. And I don't know how to do that, because I'm kinda dumb. Alright, to scale the helmet, we first need to measure the width of the helmet. And to do that, we use the measuring tool in Mesh Mixer. And as we can see, it is 180 millimeters. Then we need to measure the widest part on our head, which is in between our ears, and for me this was 172 millimeters. So the helmet's too big for my tiny gamer head, which means we gotta scale it down. Math. Alright, just drop the file here and... Oh damn. Alright, this is a problem. This is my printer, and it's a pretty good printer, except it's a bit, well, small. This means I have to cut the file into multiple pieces to print it onto my printer. My printer is the Creality Ender 3 version 3 SE, and totally not sponsored by the way. But Creality, if you're watching this, hit me up, maybe we can get something going. For the helmet to fit on my printer, I cut it into 5 different parts. I tried to do it in places which wouldn't really be seen, but some of them were harder than others. Alright, I got one of the files here, and we're just about ready to print. Alright, just click here and Printing took around 5 days. I used around half a roll of filament, so it wasn't that bad, and only 2 of the files needed supports. And I used eSun's PLA Plus, which is very good, very consistent, and I've had no problems with it.
Alright, ooh, whoa, what? Darn.
So for sanding, I used P150 sandpaper, because that's literally all I had. It's not ideal, but it got the job done. The main goal here was to remove those layer lines and rough off the surface, so the glue would actually stick later, instead of, you know, exploding mid-wear. Next up, gluing the parts together. I used Scotch Liquid Super Glue, which sounds professional until you realize I spent 10 minutes trying to hold 2 pieces together. Eventually, I gave up and started to use tape to clamp everything together, and it just made everything 10 times easier. And then came the wood filler. I had no idea what I was doing with this. I kind of just sprayed it all over, you know, in parts that looked bad and needed to cover up. And honestly, it worked out fine. I did have to sand it to make it smooth because that left a bit of bumps with the wood filler, but besides from that, it was pretty good. Except the part where it just left my whole desk as a construction site, which I kind of need to clean.
Oh wait, I missed the spot.
Alright, time for filler primer. Just everyone seems to be using it, so I'm just following in their direction. Apparently it's gonna make the helmet look way better and help the paint stick to it.
God damn.
Alright, this is what the helmet looks like after a few coats of primer, and I gotta say, it looks great. I lied. There was just some layer lines that I missed somehow, and it's really obvious from here. So I gotta resand it and then spray it with primer again. And now look at this, it is even better than before. I lied again. The other side, I completely missed the other side, which means I have to sand and reprime. Alright, time to add some color. I use the high gloss black and a chalk charcoal gray. I don't know if it's good, but I kind of just went with it, I don't know. Here I'm just taping off the black that I sprayed. I don't know if I was supposed to like do the whole helmet, but I was just kind of too lazy, so I just did the parts that needed to be in black and then taped it off. I didn't have any painter's tape, so but masking tape worked fine, honestly. There were a few leaks, but they were very minimal, so it's fine, it's fine. I didn't really have the gear to vacuum form a visor, so I kind of just had to improvise. I found this visor template from the 405th, I printed it out, and then I cut it. And then I realized it wasn't really to scale. As you can see, I'm cutting up, it's very small. I kind of realized that too late, so I had to reprint it and cut it, but it was fine. And here is what it looks like in the helmet. I made the necessary folds and kind of taped it together. There's still a few gaps that I need to fix, but it works. Alright, and now we gotta chase it onto the plastic sheet. Cool transition, right? Anyway, this is what the visor looks like. I put a thin plastic and a chrome tint over it. I made mini folds within the plastic so it would have that ODST look. And now let's see the final product. Right, and that is the ODST helmet finished. Here's a Pokemon for scale. Anyway, I'm really happy with what the final outcome of the helmet is. It looks really clean, very smooth, and especially the visor, I didn't know how it would turn out, but it turned out great. So, thanks for watching!